90% of people fail because they don't know this, but you won't be one of them. They think they've got you all figured out. They're convinced you're predictable, that you'll react exactly how they expect you to. They're dead wrong. While they're busy obsessing over the here and now, you're already 10 steps ahead, plotting moves they can't even imagine. This isn't about luck, it's not some random roll of the dice. It's not about IQ either. Raw brain power alone won't cut it. No, this is about strategy, the rare razor-sharp ability to anticipate what's coming, outmaneuver everyone in the room, and dominate any situation before it even has a chance to unfold. The line between those who win and those who scramble to keep up isn't intelligence, it's foresight. A master strategist doesn't just play the game, they see the entire board before the first pawn moves. Meanwhile, the rest of the world stumbles through impulsive decisions, crossing their fingers for a lucky break. You're different. You're the one who knows how it all ends before the opening bell even rings. This is the secret behind how wars are won, how empires are built, how power is held tight without ever breaking a sweat. It's about taking control so subtly, so effortlessly, that the other side doesn't even realize they've lost until it's far too late. In this deep dive, you're going to learn how to think like a grandmaster, not just in chess, but in life. You'll discover how to twist perception in your favor, craft narratives that pull people in, and make them act without ever suspecting they're being guided. By the time you're done here, you'll see the world through a new lens. Every conversation will be a chessboard, every interaction a calculated move, every situation a chance to stay ahead. This is the art of mind games, and once you've mastered it, no one will ever catch you off guard again. So, are you ready to step into the world of psychological dominance? Buckle up. The game starts right now. The psychology of staying ahead, why most people lose before they start. Picture this. Most people drift through life like they're playing checkers. They react on instinct, jumping at the first opportunity they see, making snap decisions, and hoping, praying even, that it all works out. It's chaotic, it's sloppy, and more often than not it's a losing game. But the real winners? The ones who come out on top every time? They're playing chess. Every single move they make is intentional. Every reaction from their opponent is already mapped out in their head. Every possible outcome? They've accounted for it long before the pieces hit the table. A real-life example that changed everything. Let me tell you about a moment that opened my eyes. A few years back, I watched an unknown CEO walk into a high-stakes boardroom meeting with a competitor known for chewing up and spitting out anyone who dared negotiate with them. This guy wasn't a big name, no fancy title or flashy reputation. He just sat there, calm as a statue, while the rival blustered and bragged. Instead of jumping in with counter-offers or arguments, the CEO stayed silent. He listened. He nodded once or twice. That was it. The competitor, thrown off by the eerie quiet, started rambling, oversharing their strategy, exposing their desperation, even throwing out concessions they hadn't planned to give. By the end of that meeting, they'd handed over $1 million deal on a silver platter, completely oblivious to the fact that they'd been outplayed from the moment they opened their mouth. That wasn't luck. That wasn't genius. That was the power of strategic silence, a weapon so subtle, yet so devastating, it turned the tables without a single word. That's when it hit me. Staying ahead isn't about being the loudest or the fastest. It's about predictive thinking. It's about seeing the patterns everyone else misses. Human behavior isn't random, it's predictable if you know where to look. People have habits they don't even notice, emotional triggers they can't control, decision-making quirks that give them away every time. A chess grandmaster doesn't win by reacting to the next move. They win because they've already played out 5, 10, 20 moves in their mind. They know that a certain opening forces a specific response, and they've got a counter ready before their opponent even blinks. How to start right now? You can do this too, in real life, not just on a board. Start watching people. Really watch them. Notice how they fidget when they're nervous, how their voice lifts when they're excited, how they hesitate when they're unsure. Grab a notebook, call it your mind journal, and jot down the patterns you see. Maybe your boss always cracks a joke when he's stressed. Maybe your friend tilts her head when she's about to say no. Maybe your partner gets quiet right through they make a big ask. Over time, those little observations stack up, and suddenly you're not just guessing what they'll do next, you know. And when you know what someone's going to do truoc, they do it. You've got the power to steer them wherever you want. Let's get personal. Have you ever been outsmarted by someone who saw your move coming? Maybe a coworker who turned your words against you, or a friend who knew exactly how to push your buttons? Drop your story in the comments below. I'm dying to hear it, and I bet others are too. Let's learn from each other. The illusion of choice, how to control outcomes without them knowing. Here's a hard truth most people don't want to face. They think they're in charge of their decisions. They're convinced they're acting out of free will, calling the shots in their own lives. But the reality? Their choices can be shaped, molded, and directed if you understand the psychology behind what drives them. It's not about brute force or coercion, it's about finesse, subtle suggestions, carefully curated options, environments you've set up to nudge them exactly where you want them to go. These are the tools of a master strategist, and they're more powerful than you might think. Think about the best negotiators you've ever seen, the ones who always seem to walk away with the upper hand. They don't ask open-ended questions like, "What do you want to do?" That's too risky, too uncontrolled. Instead, they frame it like this: "Do you prefer option A or option B?" Boom, they've just limited the playing field, and here's the kicker. Both options lead to the outcome they want. The other person feels like they're making a choice, like they're the one in control, but in reality, the decision was locked in before they even opened their mouth. This is the illusion of choice, and it's a game changer. The yes ladder, a trick that works every time. Want to see this in action? Try the S ladder technique. It's deceptively simple but insanely effective. Start small. Get them agreeing to tiny, harmless things. "Hey, it's a nice day out, right?" "Yeah, it is." "You're more of a coffee person than tea, aren't you?" "Yep, totally." Keep it light, keep it easy. Each part yes builds momentum, wiring their brain to keep agreeing. Then, when you're ready to drop the real request, "So you'll help me with this project, right?" They're already primed to say yes without even thinking about it. I've seen salespeople use this to close million-dollar deals. Politicians use it to sway crowds. Even friends use it to get favors without anyone catching on. It's how businesses sell you stuff you didn't know you wanted, how leaders get buy-in without resistance, how manipulators get their way without ever raising their voice. But here's where it gets tricky. If people catch a whiff of control, if they feel like they're being pushed, they'll dig in their heels. That's where psychological reactance comes in, and it's the next piece of the puzzle you need to master. Psychological reactance, why people fight control and how to use it. Ever notice how telling someone they have to do something almost guarantees they won't? It's not just stubbornness, it's human nature. The second people sense their freedoms being threatened, their brain kicks into rebellion mode. "You have to finish this by tomorrow." Suddenly, they're dragging their feet. "You can't leave yet." Now they're itching to bolt. This is psychological reactance, the mind's automatic pushback against anything that feels like a leash. But here's the genius part. You can flip that instinct and make it work for you. Instead of forcing your will, play the opposite game. Suggest they won't do it. Doubt them just enough to light a fire. Want someone to chase you? Step back and let them wonder where you went. Want them to prove their worth? Act like you're not sure they've got it in them. Want them to take action? Want them to take action? Casually mention they probably won't bother. A personal story that proved it. I saw this play out with a friend of mine a while back. She was frustrated because her boyfriend kept blowing off date nights, always too busy with work. She could have nagged him, "Slut, why don't you ever make time for me?" But that would have just made him double down. Instead, she got smart. One day she said, "Oh, you're probably too swamped to hang out this week, huh? I get it, no big deal." She didn't push, didn't plead. 2 hours later, he texted her, "Actually, I'm free tomorrow, let's do something." By suggesting he wouldn't, she triggered that need to prove her wrong. Next thing you know, he's planning a whole evening to show he's not that guy. That's reverse psychology in action. And it works because people hate being predictable. The best strategists don't shove people into compliance, they set the stage so people want to do it. They create the conditions where resistance melts away, and the other person thinks they're the one calling the shots. Master this, and you'll never have to beg, demand, or manipulate again. They'll hand you what you want on their own terms. 4 strategies to always stay 10 steps ahead. Staying ahead isn't about outrunning everyone, it's about making sure they're always chasing you. It's about controlling the game so completely that they don't even know they're playing. Here are the 4 core strategies that'll keep you 10 steps ahead. Every single time. Strategic silence. Let them spill their secrets first. Most people can't stand silence, it makes them squirm. They'll talk just to fill the void, and the more they talk, the more they give away. Their plans, their fears, their weak spots, it all comes tumbling out if you just shut up and listen. In a negotiation, the one who says less walks away with the prize. In a fight, the one who stays cool keeps the power. In a relationship, the one who holds back their reactions calls the shots. Try this today. Next time someone asks you something, pause for 3 seconds before you answer. Watch them fidget, ramble, or even blurt out something they didn't mean to. That's your edge. Misdirection tactic. Keep them guessing. If they can predict your next move, they can block it. Predictability is a death sentence in this game. The best fighters, the sharpest grandmasters, the slickest strategists, they all thrive on surprise. Throw a curveball, delay when they expect speed, pivot when they think you're locked in, drop a fake hint to send them scrambling the wrong way. Real-world example. I once knew a guy in a cutthroat sales job. Everyone thought he was gunning for a big client. He even accidentally left notes about it lying around. Then, at the last second, he swooped in and locked down a completely different deal no one saw coming. The competition was left chasing a ghost. Keep them guessing, and they'll never catch up. Psychological triggers push their buttons without them knowing. People like to think they're rational, but let's be real. Emotions run the show. 3 triggers will get them moving every time. Scarcity, they want what's rare. Reciprocity, they feel obligated to return a favor. And social proof, they follow the crowd. Want someone to act fast? Say, "This won't be around forever." Want them to owe you? Give them something small, a coffee, a compliment, and watch them bend over backwards to pay you back. Want them to value you? Let them see others chasing you first. Try this. Next time someone's on the fence, hit them with, "No pressure, but this chance doesn't come often." You'll see them jump, frame control, own the narrative, own the game. Reality isn't what happens, it's what people think happens. Reality isn't what happens, it's what people think happens. Every situation has a frame, a lens that shapes how it's seen. Whoever controls that lens controls everything. Someone says, "You're too quiet?" Don't take the bait and defend yourself. That's their frame. Flip it. I only speak when it matters. That's how I stay ahead. Now you're not the shy one, you're the calculated one. They're not judging you, you're judging them. Example from life. I once had a coworker try to call me out in a meeting. "You don't talk much, huh?" I smiled and said, "So don't waste words on things that don't move the needle." The room went quiet, and suddenly, I wasn't the odd one out. I was the one in charge. Frames of power. Putting it into action, mind games in real life. Knowing the theory is one thing, making it work is where the magic happens. Let's break it down into 3 key areas where you can start dominating today. 1. Negotiations. Win without them knowing they lost in any deal. The one who needs it less has the upper hand. But here's the trick. You don't have to be less desperate. You just have to look it. Use silence to make them sweat. Let them talk themselves into a corner. Then, when they're dangling, pull the takeaway move. Act like you're fine walking away. I saw this once with a freelancer negotiating a contract. The client was lowballing her, so she said, "Oh, no worries, I've got other offers. Good luck." Within an hour, they came back with double the rate. They thought they were chasing her, but she'd set the trap from the start. 2. Social dynamics. Become the one everyone follows. Power in a group isn't handed out, it's taken. People flock to those who seem like they've got it together, even if they don't. Lower your voice at the end of sentences, it sounds authoritative. Hold eye contact a beat longer than feels comfy. Move like every step's on purpose. And here's a hack. Echo what people say. They go, "I'm so tired from work." You say, "So tired, huh?" It's simple, but it makes them feel heard, and they'll start orbiting you without knowing why. 3. Relationships. Keep the upper hand without playing dirty. Attraction isn't about looks, it's about dynamics. Chase too hard and they pull away. Stay just out of reach and they can't stop thinking about you. Don't say, "Why don't you text me?" That's weak. Try, "I only give my time to people who bring something real." Now they're scrambling to prove they're worth it. I had a friend who flipped a fading fling like this. Instead of begging, he said, "I don't chase, I attract." She was back in his inbox by morning. Scarcity and mystery are your allies. What's your move? Which of these are you trying first? Negotiations, social power, or relationships? Hit the comments and tell me. I want to know what you're testing out. The ultimate mind game. Make them think it's their idea. This is the holy grail of strategy. Don't force anyone to do anything. Make them want to do it and think it was their call all along. Trojan horse technique. Plant the seed and step back. Don't say, "Quit that toxic job." Say, "Don't know, something feels off there. What do you think?" They'll stew on it, connect the dots and decide to leave, all while patting themselves on the back for the epiphany. Fear of missing out. People hate losing more than they love winning. Say, "I don't usually have much free time, but I make exceptions for the right people." Now they're fighting to be that exception. Uncertainty, predictability kills intrigue. Pause before you answer. Drop half a hint and let them wonder. Say less than they expect. The less they know, the more they obsess. A case study. I once watched a manager pull this off flawlessly. He wanted his team to take on a tough project, but instead of assigning it, he said, most teams wouldn't touch this. It's a beast. Up to you if you think we can handle it." By noon, they were begging to prove they could. He didn't push, he just planted the idea and let their egos do the rest. For those who want to rise above the crowd, this isn't just theory. It's the playbook every entrepreneur, leader, or power seeker needs to crack. You don't have to be the smartest in the room. You just have to be the one who's already 3 moves ahead when everyone else is still figuring out the rules. Subscribe now if you're ready to level up your mind. Because winners don't play the game, they design the board.